stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debated warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more.
Welcome to the spot. It's time to ignite. Oh yeah. Operation Hangout. The feeling's just right. Chilling with the crew. We're ready to groove. Opinions flying high. Come on, let's move. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Pull up a chair, let's get in the zone. Voices blend and smooth, like a funky trombone. Oh yeah. Topics from the heart, making us think. With a twist and a shout, raise up your drink. Cheers! Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Bring it down, shake it up, feel the beat. With every word we share, the circle's complete. Living loud, thinking proud, that's what we do. Oh yeah. Join the club, come on through, we're waiting for you. Alright. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Hang out.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't adjust your TV screens. This is not a mistake here. I am the host tonight. I am the president of the 7B Network. And for those who don't know what that means, that's the bold and the beautiful, beneficent, benevolent ball brotherhood of the BMU Network. I'll be running a lot of the show tonight. Kind of learn to restream a little bit here. So again, I'll be directing things here. But good to have you guys here tonight on the Sparta HQ Network, the Hangout Show, the Saturday Night Hangout Show. Good to have you guys with us tonight. As you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, certainly we appreciate hit the like button as the show goes on tonight. Make sure you also consider becoming a subscriber to the Sparta HQ Network. So we appreciate what you have. You guys being with us. Also, just to set a little ground rules tonight. Again, this is a family channel. So again, we appreciate no personal insults or attacks or insults, offensive language. Well, we're going to break that one, obviously, because we know who's on this show. But again, racial-based slurs, gender, religion, and sexual orientation. Be courageous, be polite to other people. So again, we appreciate that as well. And certainly for the certainly for the Hangout show, Operation Hangout. Again, certainly again share, and subscribe to the network. But we're gonna get into an oldie tonight. So I find myself most of use when we're talking about stuff from the '80s, because I am probably the oldest guy on this channel. So again, shout out to Gen X, and certainly the shows when they really did TV shows back then, and certainly looking forward to the show that we're gonna have tonight. But before we get into that, I want to bring up my guys who's going to share, but I got to bring up our first guest all the way from the UK is our guy, Craig Lucas, in the building tonight, sir. How you doing tonight? Now, again, I'm new to this deck,
brother.
so I got to try to find if Pete, I think he might play Yakety Yak from his deck. I don't know if he's got the
It wouldn't
music.
be Yakety Yak. It'd be oh, I can't remember. It's the English.
It's not in the list of songs here, so you may want to try to add Yakety Yak or the Benny Hill theme to this.
Benny Hill, that was it.
Yes, yeah, but the song I think is called Yakety Yak. I think that's,
All right.
if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what's called that. But
There's one with there's a theme tune with that where the guy in a wheelchair getting chased by a police officer.
oh yeah, it was
running around in the car park.
Well, it was always that, and then somehow he ran into the girls, half naked women, or whatever, and then they started chasing him. And then it was old grandmothers, it was half naked women, and people in wheelchairs and whatnot, and always around. So again, Benny Hill. Again, that's what I'm saying. Shout out to the '80s, because there's no way they would show the Benny Hill show in its original content in the United States. Now we're too PC for Benny Hill comedy today, but back in the '80s, man, that and the Paul Hogan show. Those were certainly great additions, certainly to the television space, and it was on free TV. You didn't need cable to watch the Benny Hill show or the Paul Hogan show back then. So the fact that they allowed that stuff on was pretty incredible. But I got to get our next guest in here tonight. Obviously, he is the founder of the Sparta HQ Network. Certainly our friend, as always here. We got to get the man up himself, the original Sparta, the Sparta warrior up here. Welcome our guy, the Sparta, the CEO of the Sparta
Happy
Network.
birthday, brother.
Yes, and in fact, I had to hook our guy up here. So happy 40th birthday.
Thank you, guys.
Should I buy you a Zimmer frame, Peter?
So again, welcome to the club, and but I gotta tell you though, and this is in all seriousness, the 40s is when I kind of came into my own. Prior to my 40s, I was a bit insecure. I was still kind of working some things out. The best thing that happened in my life at that point was that I married my wife. But I really wasn't until 40 when things started to really work for me, and I really started to feel better about myself and where I was going and whatnot. So everything kind of started to gel in my 40s. So again, when I say welcome to the club, my prayer for you and my sincere wish is that you, again, really come into your own, and that you're able to just take advantage of everything that's out there for you, that the desires of your heart, that God blesses you with the desires of your heart, and let this be a killer decade, the decade of the Spartan. It starts in your 40s. So again, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for everything you do for us, for the network, and just being you, who you are. You're the brother that I never wanted. At the same time, you are. But I'm stuck with you, so I'll take it. But appreciate you, brother, and so again, happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. If my 40 is gonna be anything like I feel right now, it's gonna be a long 40.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Got my man Eric in the building tonight. So again, appreciate you always being here. Yes, Yakety Sax, I think is the name of the Benny Hill song. Yes, WOR Channel 9. Same. The Paul Hogan Show was also on that. WOR. Shout out to them. I think I put a post up. There you go, Craig. There you go. There you go. You need to add that. You need to add that to the slide to the
Yeah,
deck.
There is something I forgot to do. Is salute you, Paul. Ah, oh, fuck.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that, man. Wear gloves next time so you don't
Pete
knock
loves
yourself
it
out.
when I hit myself.
Oh my god.
Greg, do me a favor next time when you wear gloves, wear the spiky gloves, with the thongs on it, so you can take an eyeball out as you're at it.
Well, I'll give that note to Nikki.
Yeah. But certainly, we're going to ask tonight. Certainly, for those who are in here tonight, give shout outs to our guy Pete in the house. Wish him a happy birthday. We're going to be streaming this throughout the show. So definitely, make sure just everybody, show him the love because he does so much behind the scenes. All seriousness, this guy, this is the kind of friend that you want. This is a guy who will ride or die for you. This is a guy who will, go above and beyond for his friends. And so certainly I appreciate him. And like I said, I really truly 40s, man. Let's do this thing. Everything that you want, let's make it happen in this time. Like, get out of here, man. Get out of here.
You gotta make me cry.
I'm from Jersey. Get out of here.
I need to send a Zimmer frame over to him.
You right? So yeah. So definitely, Eric is saying we just need to convert the dog years now. Yeah, for sure. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, certainly a very special show that we're gonna have. We're gonna be talking about Knight Rider. All right. So again, from the 80s, and again, a very popular show. But when I was thinking about for the show, I was really thinking about, and I got to give credit to also shout out to Mariana Constantine in the building tonight. Certainly always good to have you here. Yes, definitely the happy birthdays. Yeah, bring all those birthdays, all those birthday wishes in. This is gonna be the main theme of the show. We're gonna make it. We're gonna embarrass Peter Knight. So again, all the love, all the comments and whatnot. If you guys want to do a little roasting of Peter as well, everything's good. Just help him as he's ushers into the 40 club. So again, I appreciate you guys being here. But one of the things that I wanted to share was when I thought about this topic tonight, Glenn Larson. You want to talk about somebody who's been prolific as far as a producer of TV shows, and I got to tell you, I'm just going to bring this up, guys. These are the shows. So again, if you grew up in the 80s, more than likely Glenn Larson has been a major part of your life. So Glenn Larson also responsible for Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers in the 21st Century, Magnum PI, Automan, which was a very Automan and Manimal were very short-lived series, but certainly they were memorable from back in the day. Quincy, all these CSI shows that are on right now. Quincy was probably the first show that dealt with the subject in detail. The Fall Guy, BJ and the Bear. Again, all these shows. I grew up on all these shows, and so so shout out to Glenn Larson for putting these shows together. But certainly, again, a prolific producer, and certainly Knight Rider was certainly in the 80s was certainly a major like I said, portion of my life, and how much I really appreciated the show that he produced. But leading up to Knight Rider, what made Knight Rider, I think, for me so memorable was going back a few years before Knight Rider came out. So this car, all right, this is a 1976 Pontiac Trans Am. This was the iconic car of the 70s, right? If you were a kid, if you wanted something for Christmas, you wanted a toy Trans Am, whether it be the cars, Matchbox cars, and things of that nature. This was the car, all right? that every kid wanted. The hottest car out there. People talked about Camaros and whatnot, but the Pontiac Trans Am was the ultimate car. If you had this car, you were the man. Okay, back in the 70s, it had muscle. This was the muscle car era. This was really what everybody certainly looked forward to, and definitely, definitely was a major staple. But the Pontiac company, in fact, what also was cool about the 80s is that you also saw this transformation where you saw redesign, more aerodynamic cars started to come out. So by 1982, you had this redo of a lot of cars, the Corvette, the Pontiac Trans Am. A lot of the cars were going to this aerospace, aerodynamic design. And what made this car cool was the Knight Rider show. So I mean, the car itself, people were kind of taken back. I remember at the time, people were taken back by the by the redesign of the car to this more sleeker, more aerodynamic model. But what really made the car what it was the Knight Rider show. So again, so this really helped to popularize the car, really bring it into play. So this is where certainly this is certainly where we want to enter into discussion. So again, so I remember the debut show, the show when it came out, and everybody was talking about this show when we went to high school. When actually, I wasn't even in high school yet. I was probably I would think I was still in 8th grade at the time, so I wasn't even in high school when it came out. But it was the talk of the lunchroom the next day in school. We were all just enthralled with this show, and we were such big fans of it. So Pete, I'll start with you, sir. What is your first memory of this show? Did you see it in Greece? Because again, it came out in 82. So did you see it in Greece, or what was your first exposure to the show?
So I watched a little bit of both here in Greece. So I remember watching it here on reruns. And I thought what attracted me was K.I.T.T in the car. I'll be honest with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the coolest thing ever. Then I went to Greece and I continued watching it. Again, it was reruns, obviously, with subtitles on the bottom. Cool. I loved it. Then fast forward a few years later was Team Knight Rider. Was the other one I liked.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Knight Rider 2000, was it? If I remember correctly, the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I love Knight Rider. It was one ago. The only pushback I ever had, I think the story got repetitive after a while.
Yeah.
Over and over. Except that I loved it. I think
Which I must say, like I say, if I go back to what I was talking about, Glenn Larson, probably if he had a kryptonite, was that he came out with a lot of titles, but a lot of his shows didn't go no more as far. Either the show didn't go beyond 1 or 2 years, or the quality of this show failed after 1 or 2 years. So I mean, great concept. I mean, Battlestar Galactica, coming off of Star Wars in 77, Battlestar Galactica came out in 78. Great show.
Mm-hmm.
But he only had a few shows that ran more than 2 or 3 seasons as far as in quality. And one would be, I would say, Magnum P.I., Tom Selleck and whatnot. That was a hot show back in the 80s. And probably The Fall Guy with Lee Majors, who was famous for the $6 Million Man. In fact, on that slide deck, he's responsible. He directed the second movie. So the $6 Million Man started as a collection of TV movies. There was 3 movies, and then they decided to launch a television series based on those 3 movies. He directed the second movie, and was in and out as far as creativity with the show. But a lot of his stuff, like I said, Manimal, great concept, especially then because you had a lot of the werewolf transformation movies like The Howling or Wolfen or American Werewolf in London. Sure, Craig, you know about that one. So certainly there was a lot. Yeah, American Werewolf in London. Yeah, man, come on, man, you gotta know that one. But a lot of the stuff didn't run long. But Knight Rider, I agree with you, Pete, that launching a show or a pilot movie is one thing, to keep a series going for year after year after year, that is certainly very difficult in a mind space when you have so many different shows from other networks and trying to get exposure and whatnot. How do you keep people's interest and fans' interest for so long? But Knight Rider, I would say, definitely had almost a cult following, even when it went off the air. That is still today, and probably one of the biggest things I remember is the cars, the car conventions and shows where people made their own replica kit cars based on the 82 Trans Am model. But Craig, let's get your thoughts on Knight Rider. When was your first exposure to it? Were you even born then? 82? How old are you? If you
No,
don't
I
mind me
was
asking?
born 85.
You were born in 85. So again, you were born after the show basically had its
Yeah, I was brought
had
up
its
on
run.
it. I used to every single weekend. I used to go up to my old man's place
Mm,
and watch it on his TV on surround sound back in the early 90s. Do you remember the old 28-inch Toshiba tube surround sound TVs?
mm, yeah. Now Eric says he loves the Fall Guy, but I think I know who he's really loving from that show. But I'll leave it there.
Well, as I said, I've always been a fan of Knight Rider, as you can probably see.
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
got the complete collection of it.
Yeah.
That's literally the full collection edition.
Awesome.
And I didn't pay a penny for that.
Yeah.
I was helping out in a veteran unit in Hove at the time
Mm,
in the UK. And it's like a charity for helping out homeless people that are veterans, that get them into a thing that you can give them furniture when they don't have it and that.
right.
And the guy who runs the place, he knew how much I liked Knight Rider.
Mhm.
And he had to hide this under his desk.
Mm.
And I spotted it. I was like, how much do you want for it? How much do you want? Oh, do you know what? Just take it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Just take it.
That is cool.
Anyway, but yeah, Knight Rider. As I said, I was brought up as it when I was a kid.
Mhm.
Pete saying his one of his favourites was Team Knight Rider. I disagree. I didn't like that one very much.
Mhm.
They did do Knight Rider 2010, but it was based in 1994.
Mhm.
You ever heard of that? You ever seen that one?
Yeah. So yeah, I've seen all the
They have
information.
her
Yeah.
whole mind into a crystal, and then they
Right.
put it into a car.
Right.
Question for both of you guys: what do you think about the reboot?
It's brilliant, but it's not as good as the original.
Yeah. I'm in a lot of ways. I'm
I
on
like
the
it
list.
because of the technology and that
Yeah.
all of the thought and everything that went into the car.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the thing that gets you also is like because we're in this more technological age. I mean, like Teslas. I mean, a lot of these electric cars, they have like a 90+%
A lot of them
accuracy
were
rate.
based off the 1982 Knight Rider car.
Correct. Yeah.
Self-driving, and you can talk to it. It
Yeah.
was all based off the Knight Rider.
It's like Star Trek, right? With the communicator and everything else. How something fiction becomes fact. A few years later, the people are inspired to come out with these cars and vehicles that are, that have a lot of these features in them. I mean, you look at the what I didn't show early on, the Knight Rider car, the interior, with the TV cameras and things of that nature. Now every car has like 5 or 6 cameras on it. You got a reverse camera, you got cameras on the sides, you got like almost like a panoramic 360-degree view of what's going
Some
on.
cars do have that, Paul. Now
Yeah.
these days, like
Yeah.
my buddy CQ, he has a panel, and when he backs up, it gives you a 360 view where you're pulling in or whatever. But with my opinion, with the Knight Rider 08, it wasn't a bad series, I thought.
Mhm.
But for the first season, the first half, the second half, they just fucked it up, in my opinion, because they became more a Transformer show versus a Knight Rider show.
Yes, yeah, and just for people who again might be
That's it
a little
versus car, isn't it?
too young to remember that they did have. So there was a major plot. I think it was like a 2-part series where Kit met this monster. Why would you call it truck vehicle, almost like this indestructible vehicle,
Yeah, car.
and was severely damaged. No, it wasn't car. It wasn't car.
I thought it was car.
Oh, you on about Goliath?
Car was
about
basically
Goliath?
the prototype to Kit, right? It was almost like if you watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, Carr was like Lore, or like what was the one before B4, right? He was like the defective one whose mindset was so jacked up or whatever that they had to kind of scrap and take it offline. So
Okay.
so Carr was the alter ego, but it had a selfish it had a selfish motive where Kit was programmed to be totally selfless. Like Kit would give
No,
his
the
life.
difference between them, Paul, is Kit was preservation of human life, and Carl was preservation, self-preservation.
Correct, correct. So it was definitely it was definitely that difference basically made it was almost like, and again, this is also a theme also. If we want to talk about robots or in AI movies or whatever, like 2001 Space Odyssey is kind of similar. If you ever saw that, you had the HAL 9000 that basically went crazy and deleted the crew or most of the crew on the ship and whatnot. So Carr, I think, kind of became that same person, but he wasn't the reason that Carr came out. Some other group, they created this sort of indestructible, looked like a tank, and it went head to head with Kit, and Kit couldn't deal, so they kind of did they redid Kit, and they made this sort of tank sort of well, I'll just show the picture. They did a lot of enhancements to the design, giving them all these extra features. So
I
again, he
remember
had
that.
this.
Oh, super pursuit mode.
Yeah, the super pursuit mode was certainly there. And then
That was
Kit
season
by
4.
himself went on like over 180 miles an hour. I think with the super pursuit mode, I think the car went over like 300 miles an hour.
300
Um,
miles per hour and
yeah,
about 80 more percent brake stopping distance.
yeah. So so certainly this was something that people, some people liked it, some people didn't. But again, it's almost like you kind of run out of ideas.
That
So
was
you
the
again
Juggernaut episode.
you have to make the car a bit more over the top. Which is, so getting back to the question as far as the new series, it's kind of hard to impress. Like what's the car going to do next? Is it going to fly? Or is it gonna, it's but at the time in the 80s, and again, this is like, the birth of everything. Personal computers was a couple years away from becoming commonplace in the country. Video games, how many shows have we done on video games? And if you go to 1982, the arcade games really just exploded. You had the home video systems that were at the time, so it came at such a good time. And again, Larson borrowing from Battlestar Galactica, using the sensor in the front from the Cylons. In fact, it even sounded like a Cylon in as far as the special effect goes. Yeah, exactly. So again, it was a perfect show for that time. And like I said, it was definitely a look forward in terms of car technology today. That is certainly appreciated, and just the characters themselves. I mean, I thought Kit was the perfect foil to Michael. Kit was aristocratic, and he had the Brit. Now,
Well,
Craig,
wasn't the
what
voice
accent was
William something? The
was
voice
that?
of Kit. Wasn't the voice of Kit William something?
Yes,
That's correct.
He
He
was the
played
only
Boy
one who
Meets
could
World.
actually sass, not David Hasselhoff.
yeah, yeah. I forget the guy was on another show actually. There
Boy
was
Meets
a
World.
Saint Elsewhere. He was a doctor on Saint Elsewhere, and they kind of brought him in. And it's weird because it was almost like he kind of sounded like a little bit like C3PO to an extent.
So the guy who played Kit, he also played Boy Meets World. He was Mr. Feeney, actually.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
his name was William Dennis, something like that.
Mhm.
He's still alive, actually. He's 98, I think, right now. He's still
Wow.
kicking the son
Yeah.
of a
Bless
bitch.
him. Yeah. Wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a funny story about Knight Rider when they first created it. They had a truck full of the actual Trans Am cars that actually fell off the back. Trans Am only wanted $1 for every single car, and they had to have a physical promise. After every single show of those cars,
Mhm.
those cars had to be destroyed.
Well, don't worry. They destroyed all those cars themselves because of that, all the
No,
stunts.
that was the idea. They had to do it. Or they actually donated some of the cars as well, right?
Yeah. So from my
Um,
understanding, they had like 20 or 30 or some kind. I'm not sure what the number was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Only one car survived, the car that you show always on TV.
Mhm.
Every other car got destroyed from flipping them.
Well, if I
There was actually
recall, I
6.
think
There was actually 6
Jay
cars.
Leno owns one of those cars. He's a big time car
Huge.
collector.
Huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think he actually owns one of the original Kit cars.
There was an episode where they had to virtually rebuild it and drive it across to Las Vegas, right? And actually give it for someone's birthday. Can't remember what episode that was. They also tried to get David Hasselhoff into the show as well.
Mm.
Do
Do you guys think David Hasselhoff was the perfect actor for that role?
Yes.
I would say yes because of Kit or William Daniels, the actor.
They never got on.
Right, but I think that it was almost like they wanted someone who was like Han Solo, right? A little rogue, a little rough, a little gruff or whatever, not necessarily overly sophisticated, a little bit of a brute, And Kit was again this sort of refined, logical person. Michael was emotional. So again, it played off each. They were like the odd couple, It was like Felix and Oscar. They played off each other to such an extent that it made their banter a major portion of the show. So again, they're driving on assignment or whatever, and Kit saying something and Michael saying "shut up" or whatever, or Kit says something to make Michael look stupid, outwit him or whatever with his wit, and so you always had that you always had that dynamic. So yeah, I think anybody else at that time, yeah, I don't know if it would have worked as well, but if I had someone, it probably would have been it would have been Harrison Ford. Again, this like I said, that Han Solo. You know what I mean? So whoever could pull that off. Another guy I could see doing it is who's the guy who did Escape from New York? Eric, help me out here.
From New York, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, I think possibly could have pulled it off. Doing a
I can
series.
see Kurt Russell do it, but I don't see Ford doing it because the guy was an asshole and it was set. Everyone knows that. He wasn't a great actor either, in my opinion. It depends on the role. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like he felt really good in John Jones because that's why he fell into really good. Same with Star Wars, but he hasn't done in a lot of movies. Let's really be honest, and he's nitpicky on his roles too.
Yeah.
If you think about it, David Hasselhoff, he was originally a singer before he started Knight Rider.
That's right. And he was really popular in Europe.
Germany.
Germany. Yeah, he had some top hits, and he didn't do well in the U.S. as far as his albums or anything. But from what I understand, he was a big deal in Europe.
I used to annoy the people in the pub with that. So with this jump in my car. So one where he's got the Knight Rider on the thing, he gets a woman and he injects her out to play the video.
From my understanding, David Hasselhoff, he was humongous in Germany. He's singing career.
Yes.
But nowhere else, not in UK, not in Europe. That's
I love his music though.
Mm-hmm.
I love his music.
And I give the guy credit. The guy was successful from a Hollywood perspective. The guy was successful in multiple series because remember, after Knight Rider, you thought he was kind of a one-hit wonder, but then Baywatch. Now again, I didn't watch a ton of Baywatch, but again, it had a long run. And very few people get a chance to be successful in multiple TV series. And I would have to say David Hasselhoff.
He wasn't that popular in Baywatch. Really wasn't.
I'm just saying he was there. He had a job. I'm just saying it was like
his biggest hit than Baywatch. Knight Rider was literally his biggest hit.
It might have been his biggest hit, but Baywatch was a longer show.
Yeah, actually, he even said it. Knight Rider was what got him into the main set because he did some other stuff like detective work movies, like Baywatch Night, for example. But Baywatch, he knew it was a money grabber. It wasn't for the acting. He knew nobody was going to go watch it for the acting or the roles. He knew people would be watching it for the girls in the bikinis. That's all it was. It was corn on PG. It was corn on PG. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's but again, I just wanted to show that again, the show really spawned. There were a lot of car shows and conventions. Like you had a lot of people who would basically, again, they would find that 82, um, that 82 car, and again, so again, you would have these conventions like every year, and people would show up with their version of the car, and it was really a I don't know if I get this is from motor1.com. I'm not sure if I get if I play this, Pete, will this
There is a
You should be
channel. I don't
fine.
know if you've heard of it.
what's that?
You should be
There's a
fine. Is
channel.
any music on it?
I don't think so. It's just I think it's
Oh, you should be
commentary.
fine then.
All right, let me see if I
Well,
can play this.
there's a
Is there
channel
a link where I
called.
share audio? Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Most of you guys know me as one of the Knight Rider historians, and that's great. It is something I am very proud of. But I also have a lot of other interests that are not related at all to Knight Rider. Knight Rider is just one small aspect of my life. I've been married for 15 years and I have 2 small children, and that is my greatest accomplishment.
Oh my bad. This guy's he's gonna go.
So just to give you a little background, as you know, we own 2 of the 5 surviving Trans Ams used in the series. The one that I am sitting on, pretended to be Michael Knight, was used in the 3rd and 4th seasons, mainly in the 4th season. And there was specifically one episode where this car and that truck were on the set the same day, at least that we know of anyways. And that one episode is season 4's The Wrong Crowd. So as you know, in that episode, the semi behind us is hijacked by a bunch of bikers, and Michael and Kit come to the rescue. So there's a few scenes, mainly at the mom and pop's diner, that area. So they have the semi hidden in a warehouse, right? And the warehouse was right across the street from the Ma and Pa's diner. I think that's what it was called. I can't remember. Anyways, so there's some scenes there right about in the middle of the episode where Kit comes through and he's has his windows tinted and he's pretending that Michael Knight is still in there, and it gets Scott Hollander. He makes him believe that Michael's in the car. Kit takes off. In reality, it's supposed to be just Kit, and Michael's hiding disguised as a biker. But Kit takes off, all the bikers follow, and then so Michael, dressed as a biker, then comes in and figures out who's involved with the hijacking, tries to take the semi back and whatnot. So in that whole...
I'll stop it there. I thought because I thought from the show it would have like there was like a scene with just all these cars, like all these Knight Rider cars. I was trying to find that clip, and I didn't mean to go that long with it.
We have that over here.
Yeah. Oh, they have the car shows.
They have the car shows, yeah. I remember walking to meet my ex-girlfriend. She used to work at a hospital in Shoreham. And as I was walking down the road, there's this guy working on the engine of the Knight Rider car. And I'm like, literally acting like a little boy when I saw it. Like, can I get in it? Can I get in it? You know what I mean? I flaming
No,
loved
dude,
it.
it's nothing. It's normal because you've seen a car that you grew up idolizing. The same thing with the Ghostbuster car. I remember when I went to Disney and I saw the Ghostbuster car first time, I was like, and people drop. I'm not sure what the car goes for these days. It has to be at least
£250,000 in the UK.
Wow.
So we're looking like 80K around here. That means something like that. No, around there probably. Maybe I'm off. Whatever. I know it's not cheap.
Right.
So you drop in all the modifications on top of that. You're looking at least 200K, and you're not going to get your investment back either.
Right. Now it's a labor.
Yeah. I think Paul froze. Yeah, he froze. But anyway, because I'm here. Yeah, he froze. He's froze out. You see him? Look at him.
Yeah. Knight Rider car worth in 2020, when it was said, was $192,000.
$192,000.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Imagine after you do all the modifications on top of that, what's it gonna be worth?
No, that's as it is.
No, I know, but people are gonna modify it no matter what.
Yeah, I don't think that
You don't
people
realize
think
one
of
thing,
that.
bro. In cars, once you start modifying cars, you
Yeah.
lose the value of the car. More
Mm.
modifications, less value. Because I see people, shoot up the cars all the time. They drop at least 100,000 into
Yeah.
it, and next thing you know, guess what? The car's not worth 100,000 anymore.
There's a guy on YouTube who actually he's got a black Tesla, yeah, and he turned that into a Knight Rider car. So he got the little red light on the front. He actually pulled off the steering wheel, turned it into a Knight Rider steering wheel. Well, close to it by road legal standards wise. And he got like the little application on his phone of K.I.T.T, and he stuck it on his dashboard and linked it all through a stereo system.
That's kinda cool. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, more money you put into these cars, less you're gonna get back eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, you can say a lot about the show. Definitely, David Hasselhoff, but he knew he had a money grabber. He did two big successful shows back to back.
Yeah.
You might say he's a good actor, a bad actor, or whatever, but he's the one who done this. Hey, you still in my name now?
Sorry about that, guys. I was it just internet just went out for 5 seconds and it just came back. I don't know why it went down. Apologies for that. But did you see that lineup of cars, those kit cars from that convention?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the last thing I was able to show.
By the way, are you trying to be me now?
How so?
Look
The
at me.
icon.
The icon?
Yeah. Look down here.
Oh, you mean the
Oh.
I thought I was trying okay.
Oh.
You're gonna have to help me with that. See, before the show, I had Black David's icon on there, so I don't know. You switched it.
Yeah, I
out,
switched it.
Okay, so do I need to have my own? I guess at some point.
Yeah, I gotta get you on your own. But hover over your name and hit the 3 dots, and you can change it.
There you go.
All right.
Awesome.
I've just put a link to that video I just mentioned, Pete.
All right. Yeah.
I have it here. Let me steer if I can.
That same
Yeah.
guy actually went looking for the Knight Rider car in Hollywood, and the car is still there, but it's buried under concrete.
Why on the concrete? Who's a moron?
Hollywood did that.
People don't understand. Like, Hollywood memorabilia goes for money, a lot of money, and if you can prove it was from that show.
Oh, hello. What is that? I don't like that. Growing pains here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's my
That's a first.
Yeah. So when you say, if you can prove that was actually used and set at a movie, you can get a lot of money out of it.
Oh, I totally agree. And I literally get weaker than these every time I'm near the car. I used to see, you've heard of Tesco's, haven't you? Over in
What?
the UK. Tesco, big shopping place in the UK. It's like Asda or something like that. Never heard any of that? Anyway, we
No,
got
right,
Tesco's over in Shoreham. And the guy who works in Tesco's actually owns the car and he parks it in the car park. And every time I go to Tesco, I'm always keeping my beady little eye out for it. I really want to go and stand next to it and be looking into it. And that's what I want a car. Do you know what I
Let me
mean?
ask you a question, Greg. I know this will be a little stupid question on my end because I know you guys drive on the opposite side of the road, right?
Yep.
So is the car illegal in your country?
No. As long as you change the certain parts, because it's like things like the headlights, the number plate, that sort of thing. As long as you've got a number plate on front and rear, and having your headlights a certain colour, whatever it is, and your indicators, and make sure it's all road legal, it's fine. You can still drive it.
So it doesn't matter if you're left on the right?
It doesn't matter if it's a left-hand drive or a right-hand
Dude,
drive.
imagine you're driving in your country and
So
I
as
go
long-
through my car.
Right.
I go, hey guys, and you like look at me like, what the fuck?
So not every car that's on the road in the UK or Europe has to be right side.
No,
center. It
multi.
can be left as long as you drive on the
We've
right
got
side.
people coming from France. We've got people coming from Germany that have left-hand drive cars and trucks,
Ah, wow.
which makes it even worse because they're actually bad drivers.
Hmm.
You can't say they're bad drivers. They're probably bad drivers to you guys because they're not used to being on the upside of the road too.
Well, a lot of them literally just take up most of the roads.
Gotcha.
That's why we call them bad drivers, because they
Right.
literally
Take
come
over.
You
over
want me
and
to
they
show
bang
some
on
of
the
this?
road.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're a showman.
Ah, that's brilliant. That is.
I disagree.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Hello, Chip Dippers. Now, like me, you might remember being 12 years old and watching Knight Rider with awe and wonder. Good times. And I promised myself when I was a kid that I would one day own K.I.T.T. And that is actually possible today with replicas starting at around the price of a family car. But there's one little problem with them. Now, before I explain, did you see the video I did recently exploring Knight Rider filming locations? Well, believe it or not, there's a very special person who did.
Hello, Parafractic. I loved your video exploring my old Knight Rider filming locations. Great job. Until next time, drive safely and best wishes.
It's pretty special, right? And whilst replicas are immense fun and look totally convincing, they do lack one feature that perhaps is the most important thing that made K.I.T.T. self-driving. And right now, the only cars with full self-driving are Teslas running the new beta version. And I just happen to be one of those lucky testers. It's probably no surprise to you to therefore learn why I saved up to buy a Tesla. To me, this is the real world, kid. And it is truly mind-blowing. It can take me door to door, pretty much anywhere with little to no interaction. It even knows how to wait its turn at a four-way stop intersection, and it performs some incredible maneuvers.
It is kind of cool. I gotta give you guys credit for that. If they ever come back
It's
with
pretty
Knight
amazing,
Rider,
right? Now, perhaps
pause it a
obviously,
second, guys.
it's not really possible to.
Yep.
if they ever come back with Knight Rider, like say 2025, for argument's sakes, I can see them doing a Tesla than any other car out there. To be honest with you guys, because it kind of makes sense if you really think about it.
Well, actually, Tesla seems to be just from a business point of view. I mean, the company's in trouble. You know,
Oh yeah,
you
they're
got these
horrible.
cars coming out of China. You got out of Africa. I mean, there's just better tech. I think that the cost of Teslas has dropped by like 30% over the last couple of years. So
here's a couple
I
issues.
think
Here's a couple. I'm sorry to cut you off. Here are a couple issues with Teslas. So the miles per charge is very low. Like you can get a Mercedes or a BMW or any other car can get double the miles what a Tesla gets.
Mhm.
One. Second issue, when they start breaking down cars problems, most people don't want to deal with it. They just trade them out because there are too many problems with them.
Mhm.
So that's why you can get a used one for very cheap.
Mhm.
Excuse me, very cheap.
Mm.
So that's a couple of the issues there. So it really depends on how you look at it. Tesla got popular because they were the first one on the market with electric vehicles.
Well, they weren't the first, but I think they got to a
First
point.
mainstream.
I think they were the first one that broke through to a mainstream order. I mean, because
Yeah.
I think the one thing they were able to do was they were able to compete with luxury car buyers. Because for a time, owning a Tesla, especially the one where the doors open up on both sides, like
The
a
Wingos.
McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it made it like, you had a lot of people who had money. They were like, oh, this is people would make that argument. Is Tesla a luxury car or not? And so I think once you start to get those guys to buy, because you had like I think the Toyota Leaf and other cars, but they were small and they were for like, green thinkers, so to speak,
Mhm.
and environmentally conscious people. But when Tesla came out with bigger models, larger sedans, like I said, the one with the fly doors. I think that really they were the first ones to make an electric car cool.
And I think you hit it on it. No, is like you said, it was they made it cool, and that's what it was. And they were the first one to push it out. They've been making electric cars for years. Think about it. You ever had those little toy model cars back in the day?
Yeah.
What's the technology? It's the same technology. They just blew it up, and only difference they had to figure out how to recharge it. Hey, housewife. So that's the only difference. Except that, there's no difference.
Yeah.
Everything else has been out there for years.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, if they ever get to a point where they have these self-driving car, because like I said, I think 90%, and again, depending on where you live, like I don't know if I would drive it in Manhattan necessarily, but if you live like where that guy was, he seemed like he's in a fairly open area. That yeah, I mean, I can certainly see that becoming a thing. But just kind of getting back to the show, just want to kind of take it back. What was your favorite um part of the show? Was it Kit doing car tricks or whatever? Was it Michael going out there being bad guys? I mean, what really kind of kept you coming in? Was it the car or was it the cast? Let's start with Pete and go to Craig.
The car, 100%, and the watch too, because he could talk to her car like like a smart
Yeah.
watch.
That was a Casio watch.
That's another
sorry?
one, right?
It was a Casio watch.
Well, it looks like my Apple Watch, so I take it. So you talk to it, it comes, and the weapons on it was pretty cool weapons. You think about it, like
Mm.
it had some nice weapons on it, like grease, MPs, and all that stuff. Like, listen, if I can get one myself and just you piss some people off, I
Mm.
want a heartbeat. You
Yeah.
know me, Paul.
Yeah, for sure. Craig, what about you? What kept you coming back to the show?
Just the car. It was a brilliant car. You can't beat the original. Yes, the reboot was brilliant. The 2008 reboot movie, that sort of thing. Brilliant TV series. Brilliant the way they've done it. Love the graphics. Love the AI. Love everything about it. With the nanotech, with the but when you shoot the car, the whole thing cracks and then re-heals itself, and then it transforms. I love it. But you can't beat the original car at all. My favourite part is there's two of them. The very first episode where he's driving along in the night trying to beat them to the airport, and he jumps through the side of the lorry, and then you got the helicopter flying over him and tries to shoot him with the helicopter, and it bounces off the car and hits the helicopter.
Mhm.
And then you got the second one, which is the Knight Rider 2000, which he gets basically recycled, and you got the scene where you got all of Kit's guts on the table.
Mm.
You know what I'm on about?
Yeah, for sure.
And the way David Hasselhoff and William talk, it's like they're literally slagging each other off. It's really funny.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the car. I mean, like I said, certainly it had no question it was an appeal of the show. But honestly, I liked again the cast. Right, like we talk about how Michael Hasselhoff and or Michael Knight and Kit played off each other. Um, Hasselhoff and Devin. Right now, that guy, that actor, he was the one from. I first remember seeing him from, I think, the Ghost in Mrs. McClure. I think that was the name of the show. Erica, help me out on that. But certainly, him and Devin, they had a very back and forth conversation, and that same
It was
concept is
with them. It was more like a father and son sort of thing.
yeah, but it was also a very similar play on Magnum PI. If
Yeah,
you remember Magnum PI, you had Magnum
sort of.
and you had the guy who was the keeper of the grounds there. They kind of had an interesting that again, Magnum PI is kind of this brutish guy, just like Michael was, and then they had the really stiff-lipped upper, upper crust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just looked up this guy's career. He has a pretty good, decent career actually. He
who's that?
played the Ghost and Mr. Magoo,
Yeah,
Knight Rider. Obviously, he played in
Mrs. Muir.
Sea.
Thanks, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Out of Sea. He Manga Force. Let me see another one. Eyes of the Devil. I don't remember that one. I'll be honest with you.
Mm.
Battlestar Galactica. He played in MacGyver. He was in.
Mm.
He has a really good career, actually. Believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing is also because a lot of those shows you just mentioned was also Glenn Larson shows. So again, you're gonna have a lot of opportunities there, certainly when you're in that space.
Question
But
now for you, Paul.
yeah,
Baywatch, was that Glenn Lawson show too?
Baywatch, from what I'm seeing, no. At least in the
He's
list that I
also
showed at the beginning of the show, I don't see Baywatch amongst his creations.
so Edward Will Homer, whatever his name is. He guest appeared in Baywatch a couple of times. So that's why I was asking that. So he shows here on his
Well, again, I mean, obviously he knew David Hasselhoff. So again, it's like anything else, networking with people or whatnot. If someone says, "Hey, I'd like to have him on the show," then certainly I can certainly see that coming off. Because that's how stuff gets done. It's like who gets a chance, but I wanted to introduce since we're talking about that, and again, I don't know if we had a specific car on this a specific show on this, but when we talk about cars, either in movies or television shows, and I was trying to find one specifically for television shows, but I think this graphic here may give us a nice sort of side discussion since since we love Kit, we love the car and whatnot. Now, again, what they don't have here is, as I started the show with, they don't have the Smokey and the Bandit. They don't have the Smokey and the Bandit car, which I would certainly put into this list. But you have several cars from either from TV or from movies. So again, the B.A. Baraka's van from the A-Team, the Batman 92 car, the Kit car is there. Now, Starsky and Hutch, I remember that show. Same as Dukes of Hazzard with the General Lee. I mean, that became controversial because of the Confederate flag. But you have a lot of famous shows and movies that have vehicles that were admired by either car enthusiasts, again, people making replicas of these cars that they wanted to buy them, like the Miami Vice, the 80, the Lamborghini that probably made that a very popular car because of the Miami Vice show. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show growing up, but just out of this list here, what would you rank Kit or the 1982 Trans Am? Where would you rank that amongst your favorite vehicles? Because again, it could be a van, it could be a truck, it could be a car. Where would you rank Kit amongst any of these cars? And like I said, I will throw in and probably in a lot of respects is definitely on my Mount Rushmore, right? The 1976 Trans Am has got to be on this list. So go ahead, Craig. What was your thoughts on this?
I do have a question. I don't know if it was a Pontiac or whatever car it was, You know when they transferred him into a red one?
Oh, that was no, that was the Trans Am.
Was it?
It was just a a later model of it. Like I said, for
Thank you. No,
me,
that was all I
the
wanted to know. I didn't know what model
1976
it was.
and the 1982 are my favorite versions of the vehicle. And that could be partly because I grew up in that muscle car era.
Bullet.
Yeah. But a lot of the cars that came after it's like even like the Corvette has gone on to changes. But to me, the 1977 Corvette is still my favorite. The Corvette Stingray is still my favorite version of the car, even though they've come out with other cars since then. But certainly, now Eric, he puts up a good one here. It's not on this list, but again, if you watch Mad Max, the Mad Max Interceptor, which I believe was a Ford, I forget
Mad
the name.
Max. It was Mustang V8.
Yeah,
Last of the V8s. Mad
yeah,
Max.
yeah.
You know,
So
it's
so that
funny.
was also a very good car as well in the from a movie perspective. So you can certainly Eric, you can certainly add that when the Mad
Well,
Max
I
car.
would be
Yeah.
ranking. As I said, I'm a big fan of the car, and I've always loved the car. It's actually my dream car to have.
Mhm.
I'd rank it number 10.
So here's the funny thing with me. I would remove the Beetle because I think that's a horrible car in general. Um, but I would definitely put that as my top 3.
Mhm.
I would definitely want to get
Mhm.
because between that and Dukes of Hazard and Back in the Future, those are my 3 top cars.
Yeah, yeah. I would say for me, I would definitely have the night, like I would say, the 76 Trans Am, the 82 Trans Am, and I'm not going to put the Batmobile in there because that's not a practical road car. You know what I mean? At least not me.
Not that version.
You're gonna stick out like a sore thumb driving that. The A-Team van, BA's van, that was like, that was hot because I remember guys they used to take conversion vans and make them into these long sleepers. Like if you didn't want like a Winnebago or something like that, or one of those big long, pull vehicles or whatever, you can make a nice conversion van with the custom seats. You can put a bed in it. You can, if you really want to have some time on the road, you put a satellite antenna on the top of it. With the ladder in the back of it and everything, so that
You can convert that to a mini mobile home too.
yeah,
Kitchen in too.
Yeah, and I've seen YouTube channels where they've done that with some of their conversion vans. So I would say those 3. If I had honorable mention, it's a toss up between the '85 Lamborghini and the Magnum PI, the Magnum PI car, because I think that inspired. Actually, remember that video game? I think it was called Outrun. It was a driving game from the '80s. Outrun. I think that inspired. In fact, a lot of games on the Nintendo platform, they would use a car very similar to Magnum PI's car in the
Um,
in the series. So Eric's got another one here. The Lotus and the Spy Love Me. Yes, the one that went in the water and converted into a submarine. That's an excellent addition, certainly to this list. And if we'll put it this way, if I was going to say what cars go from this list, take the Ghostbusters car out, take the Batmobile out, and I would probably say, and I would agree with Pete, take the Love Bug out and put in the Lotus from Spy Who Loved Me, put in the 876 Trans Am, and as he's now I was not as big a fan of the V8 for Mad Max. It's a muscle car, so it's a bad car for sure.
there's a car that I'd
I
like to
could.
drive, but it was made in 1962, 1967.
What's that now?
Mustang.
I think it might have first come out in the 60s.
Yeah.
And again, it went through. But speaking of Mustang, probably my favorite version of the Mustang is probably from 1971. The Mach 1 Mustang is probably my favorite version of that car. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick.
Beautiful
Yeah,
car.
this guy right here. Yeah, this guy was sweet.
There is one that I would like to get my hands on in the UK. It's one of my granddads used to have when I was a kid. It was
Hmm.
a Ford Capri Mark II. You ever heard of it?
Ford Capri Mach 2. Let me see if I can look it up. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, British cars.
Got it. Got it.
It was the red one and the third one along in the middle at the top.
Third one right here. This one.
Yeah, beautiful car. It really is.
Yeah, that looks
The
fierce.
problem with those cars, you had to put massive breeze blocks in the boot
Mm.
because they were rear wheel drive, right? The back end was so light, so every time you try and take a corner, the back end kicks out.
Right. Ah, okay. Yeah, that
You
could
had to
be
put like
dangerous.
box in the
That could be
back of it to
dangerous for
push it
sure.
to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Just remind people, certainly as you come in tonight, make sure you hit the like button for the show. Also consider subscribing to the network. And also wish our guy, Sparta, turns 40 years old today. Hard to believe. But
Paul, do
he
you want to bring
certainly
David up?
was that?
Do you want to
Oh,
bring
David's in
David
the
up?
back?
Yeah, he has.
The
But
bear
we have messaged you about
the
it.
bear paw is in the back room. What's going on, bear paw? See, I don't see I'm a different type of host. So I'm not gonna say I am Groot. I don't do that.
I know. I
You
expect
said
that.
your name. You said your name was Bear
David,
Paw, so I'm gonna say Bear Paw. But you're gonna have to give me a sound effect then. I
David.
don't know. It could be a growling bear. It could be whatever you want, but you gotta give.
David.
No, that sounds like a sleeping bear. That's not a growling bear. That bear's asleep. That's a snoring bear right there. I need a growl.
Yeah.
I need a.
When I'm grouchy, I'm on like.
That sounds
Yeah,
like
but
you're
when I'm
blowing off.
okay, I'm like.
Oh, see.
I know.
Craig's
I
trying to give
saw
you
what's
some.
going on.
He's
They
giving
want to
he's
play
giving you
that game.
the Groot logo.
Yeah, but this is my logo right here.
Yeah, I hear you.
I stand by my logo all the way
Yeah.
through.
But how you doing? First of all, again,
I'm doing
kudos
okay.
again.
It's just that when I remember what today's show was, I went on a brain freezer because I had a lot of issue with the franchise
Hey,
on
David.
how the executive did it dirty.
Oh, jeez.
Peter,
That ain't me. Hang on. Oh, that is.
Peter.
He was a bit way for him.
Stop.
So that's
Okay.
what. So
Because here's the
David,
thing.
you better wish that I'm hosting the shows going forward because again,
I
I
know.
can't control this guy. So
I know. But here's my thing. This franchise, Knight Rider, has been my all-time childhood because this was the Pontiac Fireball car that a lot of
yes,
guys out in New York City, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, that was the bro car. That's
yes.
the one.
Well,
If
hang
you
on.
ever had nobody,
Before you go on that,
Mhm.
let me just bring this up one more time because I I agree with you, but I'm also a little bit older than you. So for me, a little bit. But for me, I got to tell you, just give me 1 second here, just so I can.
no, because you have a point because when it comes to the bro car of the 80s and the 70s, the Pontiac Fireball, aka Knight Rider car, was one of them. Then you got the General from Duke of Hazards. Those are hard to get cars to get on because when you grab that car, it's like I hate to say this,
Hang
but
on.
there
This
you
is where
go.
I'm torn. But David, this is where I'm torn. Like I said, this was the car of the 70s, right?
Yes, it was.
76 Trans Am, Firebird Trans Am.
Whew.
And then again, but 1982, that's when all those aerodynamic car designs, everything changed, right? They
It
went
did.
from the muscle car to the more sleeker aerodynamic car. It was a big change in the industry at the time.
Mhm.
For a lot of people, again, a lot of people didn't like it at first, but I think Knight Rider is what made this version of the
Okay.
Trans Am popular, just as Smokey and the Bandit made this version of the car
And
popular.
you're right. You're
So
right. There are two versions of that because I grew up watching both. Smokey and the Bandit was my classic type of late night show to watch. When you watch the Trans Am Firebird, it was classical. When you watch Knight Rider, that was the next generation. Now, Duke of Hazzard, the General, was another car that everybody loved and it cherished. Then you talk about Magnum PI, the Ferrari, that for
Yeah.
people down in Florida.
Mhm.
That's Magnum
Same thing
PI
with
as
Miami
well as
Vice.
Miami
That
Vice as well.
Lamborghini, the Lambo. Yeah.
That's what it was. Now the A team was a mix between next level bro vehicle to the hippie vehicle. That
Mhm.
was the go-to car for people who go across state, if you think about it, because that was a hard truck to get. When you get it, you know that's what you're doing. That car, that was a piece of classic. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Even to this day, at my age, I would love to have one of those. If I
Mhm.
were to choose to have a dream car, it will be the 18 vehicle, which is number one on my list.
Mhm.
The Night Rider car was number two, and
Mhm.
the General was number three. Because that's
Mhm.
hard to choose between those three.
Yeah.
Because I grew up whereby all the coolest guys have those three vehicles.
Yeah. I will give honorable mention you to mention 18. They had another car in there. That was Face's car. Face had a white Corvette with red
I
stripe
remember
on it. A lot of guys
that
were into that car too. That was pretty high at the
that
time.
is true.
Yeah.
That's very, very true. But for Night Rider was more childhood iconic dream car growing up, loving the franchise until you got to realize they were butchering that franchise, which I had an issue with.
Mhm.
From Knight Rider to Teen Knight Rider, what I wasn't sure that was a cool idea to push.
Mhm. Yeah.
Then when they did the reboot and they invited my David Hasselhoff to be a cameo on that show, I thought there'll be a rekindle of something that a lot of people grew up and love. I grew up and loved Knight Rider to the fullest until I realized the executive don't know what they had in their hand. They sabotaged the whole thing.
Right.
Just like me, all the fans, we were beyond pissed. It was hard to let go of something that you grew up on. David Hasselhoff, what did Knight Rider? I didn't care about Baywatch. Baywatch was for people like Peter. Yeah, you, dog.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
He say that now, but he cannot deny every time Baywatch come on the show, you talking to you who got the most skimpier bathing suit. So you cannot deny that part. That was Baywatch.
I never said I did
Every
deny it.
okay, there you go. That was one thing. I didn't care what about Baywatch. I was more into the car fanatic. I was into the Knight Rider, the iconic rivalry between Kit versus Car. That was what I grew up on. I
Mhm.
didn't care about the skimpy bathing suit, as skimpy as it can get. They're all skimpy on the. I did not want to watch that. Knight Rider was my thing. And a lot of people who grew up on that they will say that we can memorize all the iconic battle it had, all the greatest episode it had, but when you start to realize the exec that to sabotage your childhood, you start to feel some kind of way.
Mhm.
So I to have that individual person, I'll be that person who go to the blog and ask if you want to do a proper reboot again, this time not with the same type of exec to be played out. Would they have to come back again, or would he walk away? Will you bring the iconic people who made Knight Rider so great, or how will you play certain roles? What
Mhm.
would be the different thing about Knight Rider? Because
Yeah.
when I saw Team Knight Rider, I wasn't feeling it.
Mhm.
They had to have barely show up on there. When you had the new Knight Rider, whereby it was more like Knight Rider 4.0 with an extreme dose of steroid, it messed up the whole idea. This Knight Rider was
Mhm.
transforming
Mhm.
to all different type of vehicle that the original Knight Rider was not even doing to begin with.
Mhm.
There was a unique storyline from the original Knight Rider whereby there's a unique department that is recognized at the same time not recognized by the government. It was doing its job based on domestic situation, right?
Mhm.
But it had a very unique storyline and made it very intriguing. You want to see how it plays out. The fact that you don't see that thing played out on the old original version, and you have a new version, you would think maybe David Hasselhoff as Michael Knight want to dig in deep about the storyline, and maybe he would have played a more senior role so that this show would have been played itself out properly. that never happened. I wasn't too happy about that because, for one, you know how that the movie reboot Ford was trying to use the show to promote the new line of the Ford Mustang. I got
Mm.
nothing against the Ford Mustang. That is another iconic classic car. Even though from the '80 version and the '70 version was still great, this new one was overboard. Then when you screwed up with the first season, you screwed up the storyline. Nothing against the car, but I don't feel the Mustang could have been the next Knight Rider if I were to pick and choose.
Mm.
See, David, I agree and disagree a little bit. I agree they screwed up the story halfway through the season, not the first half, the second half, when Carr
Okay.
became a transformer. But with Ford, you can tell they had a big contract with Ford because all the cars was Ford, 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 Ford. I like the Mustang as the kit car personally. Personal opinion, of course. I'm not saying it's that's a personal opinion, of course. But as an '08 series, the original Michael Knight showed up once, and that's it. I It was a passing of the torch. I like how they passed the torch over to the new actor, but I didn't like how they, like you said, screwed up the storyline later on.
But here's my thing. I agree with you. Yet Ford, the 4 month thing could have been, but I believe there was a confusion along the way because either it was before or after. Before they did the reboot of the Knight Rider. Let's not forget there was a show that was almost similar to the core Viper. And what was the brand they were using? Dodge, the Dodge Viper, right? Everybody
Mhm.
Dodge Viper, the show Viper will be somewhat a passing on the torch for the Knight Rider kind of thing because it did not go to the extreme like the new reboot did. It did put on a new armor, so to speak, but still was not enough. So yet Ford took that opportunity on taking a franchise show to compete with Dodge. When Dodge was doing their own version with the Viper, now they do their own new reboot with the Knight Rider. The Ford Mustang, the way they picked that particular model and when they went about it, even I would have to question it far more as a techie person. I was like, should this be car? Did any other car besides it could have done a better job? Because I know they transformed the Knight Rider to from a car to a van to everything under four lineup. It was kind of obvious to the point whereby new upgrade it turned to a robot. I was like, now you just killed the whole thing.
Like I
You
said, it
go,
was more like a Transformer
Um,
series towards the end.
it was overdoing it, but it did not make any logical sense. This is why I have an issue with exec in American production companies whereby they don't know how to recreate that magic anymore. They take something, throw their stupid ideas, go too far with to the point whereby the fans who love the franchise is wondering what direction are you taking this.
Well, David, I made the point earlier in the show that for a lot of the series, so like Glenn Larson was responsible for a lot of shows in the 70s and 80s. All with Magnum PI, Quincy, Automan, if you I don't remember, Automan, Manimal, a lot of shows that again, like the pilots and whatnot, like it got people very interested in the show's content. But the writing afterwards, I think, is what suffered. So it wasn't because the thing is, even with the cars, and a lot of us said we were drawn to the show because of the car. The car's only going to get you so far.
um,
What you do with the car, the relationships with the people in the show that you want to care about them, like it takes a lot in order for a show to get a multi-year run and still stay viable. That's more times that's rare. It's like a diamond in the rough when you have a show. Not every show is on TV for 10 years or 20 years, like the Simpsons or something like that. It's rare, but you got to have the writers and the originality to make it still work, even though these characters don't even change, right? No one's grown up on the
Mhm.
Simpsons, right? But you're still able to make the show viable because again, how the writing and the storylines and whatnot. So I think that's really what's at play. The car can only do so many. The car's got super leap. The car's got the high super pursuit mode. What else are you going to put in there? But the character
I
driven
did
story.
put a link where car transforms.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I did put a link in the back where
Okay.
car transforms. It's only a couple of seconds, but if you want to have a look.
Let me see if I can bring that up. Yeah. Now, this is Car's first appearance. At least the link that I see there.
Yeah.
It's not a transformation. It's
It is his first appearance, but he also transforms.
Okay. Let me all right, so let me share my screen and so I can get this to work. Yeah, except I didn't see
Yeah, no, I might have
behind the thing. The
hard look.
behind the scenes. That's why you see him.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that scene where it transforms.
Yeah, if you can find it, I'll share another link. But I just wanted to see if David had a response.
My thing was this. I look at all the cars that was out during that time of reboot, right? And there was even my assistant telling me the Dodge Viper SRT10 could have been a better replacement. I slightly agree with that one, but at the same token, it was complicated because it's too obvious to give the title to the Ford Mustang. And no, you don't want to give a European car the title to be the Night Rider, it would be totally disrespectful because Night Rider was an American-made car. It wasn't a European car. Even there were two other cars out there at that time, around 2008, 2009, that could have contended for. That would be the Nissan GTR, the R35 model, but it's not an American car. It was a Japanese car. The RDR8 was a German car. Even that could have fit the criteria, but it's not an American car, which I understand. So to choose from the Chevrolet Corvette DR1, which is a C6 version of that time they came out, Lexus will now never fall into that thing. The Dodge Viper, I would say yes and no, even though it was used for a different show called AKA Viper. Then the BMW is not an American made car, that's another German car. So it kind of like, it sucks that it was given to the Ford Mustang series. I got nothing against the car, but I didn't feel it had that look for Knight Rider. Knight Rider was kind of like a sleek look, like almost the type of car that you can say it blended the night. The Dodge Viper was more like a car that looked like it was on steroid. Kit was not a car on steroid. That would be a thing that you make fun of a car, CARR, because he was trying to bump his spec to be better than Kit. That was something you would expect that from. But not Kit looking like, okay, I'm gonna inject myself so I can compete with the best of them. And that's something I didn't feel too much about because if you were so diehard into the show and the storyline and how it came about, I asked, okay, if you cannot find another brand, why not build a new version of the Pontiac, what the Pontiac will look like in 2008, 2009, if that brand didn't die out? That was the question to be asked. So I'm sure a lot of people were thinking the same thing just like I was back then because that was an iconic car that you can never give up on. The Trans Am Firebird or the Trans Am model version, you always believe that what if you would have bump it up a little bit more? What if we make it a newer model? This way it fit the TV show. We would have more be accepted to that. But when you put the Ford Mustang, it was a mixed review. Some people were okay with it, some people were not okay. I wasn't okay with it because it didn't shout Knight Rider, it didn't shout steroid to me.
I personally disagree with that.
Paul.
Yeah.
I've just had to, because I couldn't find it on YouTube, I've just had to go through my collection on the server. I've just found the episode and I've just fast forwarded it to the bit where car transforms. If you want to have a quick look.
You said it's now. You put a link in the chat.
No. I've just shared my screen.
Okay, let me. Not seeing anything showing up. Pete, can you check for that?
Hover over the icons. It'll come up.
It was the only way I could do it.
Hover over the icons.
Yeah, where you know how you toggle off and on for us coming in the show.
Oh, got it. Okay. Interesting.
And this is what I said earlier. It looks like more like a Transformers.
Yeah.
And like I
I
said,
was just
they
trying
killed
to
the
get so
idea.
you guys would see it, and I don't know if Paul saw that episode
I did.
before.
I did. I didn't see that before, but thanks for sharing.
I saw that clip
I've never
and
seen
I
that.
was like, this is why I say the executive who took over that show nearly completely butchered
That
the
they did.
franchise.
That one they did.
They did butcher it, David, at that point.
But with the
But
when K.I.T.T transforms into different cars, like the 4x4, that sort of thing, that was brilliant. I liked that. But transforming into a robot, why?
I give you that, Craig. I give you that. Transform to a different vehicle, that was a cool idea, but I felt as if you jumping the gun too soon all the way through because first and foremost, you're doing something and you like how would I put it? It was like a rush. So they
Well,
put it out,
I'm
they
saying it
put
was a
that
rushed
idea.
episode. They were trying to bring it back. That's what the idea, but they rushed it too soon.
And that was a problem with it because
They
that's why I said when a take certain franchise, they don't have a good vision, they should never touch it.
well, as you
This
think
is
about
why
it, David,
I lost interest with the American production company in this country for decades because you take a beloved franchise that someone grew up and loved and you want to recreate the magic, but you have no clue what the hell you are doing. And I'm sure people were telling you, don't go down this route.
Mm.
And you think you have a better idea than everybody. What you're not realizing, you are destroying people's franchise.
yeah, like they did with
But
Terminator.
what reboot have you seen that you would consider to be a successful reboot?
The Team Night Rider
No,
was
No,
all
any
right.
series.
It was
Yeah, I'm
no.
saying any
of any series.
IP,
Are we talking about shows only or movies?
whatever. I don't care. Movie, TV show, a
Well, the one
reboot.
I thought was pretty good when they did a
What was
remake
that?
was RoboCop.
I like
That
that
was
movie.
better.
The Robo,
I
That was
like
the
the
movie
movie.
that was
that was
better.
all right. That was all right.
Star
The
Trek.
new RoboCop was all right.
The
Star
worst
Trek.
But
one
Okay.
I
was
feel they could
Yeah,
go even
Total
further than
Recall.
2009.
that.
Kelvin timeline. Okay.
Total Recall was the worst remake I ever thought.
Oh God, please don't remind me.
Yeah, some movies
Oh
don't need to
God.
be remade. You know, like The
No,
Godfather. If anybody tried to remake The Godfather, it'd be like you're making a mistake. I mean, there's certain movies that don't.
The A Team reboot, it could have been better, but for some apparent reason, I don't
It
know what they
the
were
didn't. It
trying to
movie
didn't
was
do.
work.
good. The movie was good.
It was
You
good.
know
The
what
remake
was also
movie, the
good?
actual movie, it was brilliant.
You
But
know
when
what
they
was
did
also
the
good
TV
that I
series, it
like?
was a load of crap.
Miami Vice, the movie.
Okay.
That
Never
was
seen it.
good. That was a very good. If you haven't seen that one was very good. I thought that deserved a sequel. I would say that.
A reboot of MacGyver, I don't know what to expect from that. I was kind of clueless.
Oh, anyway.
I haven't seen it, so I
I
can't give you my opinion on that.
I saw it because I grew up watching MacGyver. The original MacGyver is the same guy who did Stargate, SGI, right?
Yeah.
SG1. But when I did a reboot of the MacGyver series, I was like lost for it. I was like, okay, how would I feel with this one?
Well,
And that's why I said what I said because I'm not saying that I'm a creative genius, but when you understand the storyline, you understand the plot. When you're gonna do a reboot, there has to be a connection with the old generation with the new generation. The passing the torch cannot be a one day thing. It has to be you're going through a process before I pass the torch to you.
but David,
That was the thing.
only thing I would say is I haven't seen it to give you my true opinion, but from what I'm seeing here online, it had 5 seasons, so it had to be pretty good if it's 5 seasons.
It was all right, but it didn't go as bad as Knight Rider. That was my concern. Knight Rider was like the the kid boy favorite. Anyone who grew up in the 80s and 70s, that was our icon.
What, Knight Rider? Yeah, it was.
So
When you're in school,
so what would you have? Because I asked this question earlier in the show. I said, what was your favorite part of Knight Rider? Craig and Pete were of the opinion it was the car.
Mine
My
was the
thing
car and the
was,
helicopter scene, and then jumping through the side of the
car was one of
but
them.
I'm saying
But
my take was it was the characters. It was the relationship between Michael and Kit. It was the relationship between Michael and Devin.
true.
And then you have
Now,
whoever the engineer is. Now, I don't know who you like better. I like the first engineer, the brunette. I liked her in the first season versus the woman they replaced her with in the second season.
Bonnie.
I liked her better. And no disrespect, the brother who was on Mike, I think it was Michael Paris or David Paris or something like that. I saw no use for him in the say why you brought. I look, I don't mind a brother. I don't mind seeing a brother get some work. I'm just saying,
Dude,
but
his name's RC
that was
in
a
the TV
throwaway.
series.
He didn't need to. I'm
It
like, why are you here,
was.
bro?
But my thing is, the rivalry I like with the Kick versus car, that was one. And the one that Mike met his actually look-alike, who was a Ouija, but he had a truck.
Right.
Goliath.
I can
Yeah.
answer that
Kick
question
versus
for you,
Goliath.
Paul.
Yeah.
RC, yeah, he was it originally started. He was the street avenger,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he had no job, right? And they gave him a job, gave him a purpose,
Right.
driving the truck, helping toward look after Michael, build work on Kit. So yeah, he had a purpose. They gave him a reason to actually work.
But again, I don't even with that. I don't think it added much to the series. You know what I
To
mean?
be honest, I actually quite enjoyed one of the episodes where you had the blind guy playing the piano.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they were trying to knock the building down, and RC was there trying to protect the town, if you know what I mean, or town or village or hood or whatever it's called in America.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was trying to protect his own home, basically, where he was brought up. It's brilliant. The one that I did like the most was not with him in it. It was Knight Rider 2000. There was a lot of emotion in that.
Mhm.
There really was, especially when Devon Miles died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That one actually made me cry.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm saying he was pivotal to the show. I thought he was the again a bit on the aristocratic side, but I thought he was certainly a moral compass to Michael. I think he certainly you could tell that said he cared for Michael. I mean, again, I thought that was a rich relationship. It was, but again, this is common throughout Glenn Larson's series. Like I mentioned earlier, Magnum PI, where you had the master of the grounds, again another British guy who was to Michael. If you look at $6 Million Man, which Glenn Larson was a part of, Oscar Goldman, and how he related not only to Steve Austin but also to Jamie Summers and in the Bionic Woman show, which is another failed reboot as well. So again, you talk about failed reboots. Bionic Woman, I don't think they tried to do the $6 Million Man again. I think that I've heard talks that they're trying to bring that. They're trying to bring that back. I guess it'll be the $6 billion show because things are more expensive now. But yeah, I think those relationships carry show. To me, it's almost like what made the original series or really any Star Trek series good was not the Enterprise. As much as I appreciate the Enterprise, the vessel, it's the people on the show. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. That's the glue of the show. And I think you got to have that if you want to have multiple seasons and multiple interactions. Again, you can think about it. At no time did they ever go back in Michael's past. Even though the whole idea was you were kind of scrubbing his past and giving him a future, what if you went back in his past when he was Michael Long and exploring some more of that, maybe bringing some enemies up from Michael Long that show up they don't know that he's Michael Knight. I mean, they said the pilot nailed it perfectly. You could have had a few shows like that where Michael Long had this long history of bad guys he might have locked up or people who were after him or whatnot, and now they're on the prowl again, and now Michael Knight has to go in there and take it. I mean, you could have went in that direction. You could have went into
But
like
but hit
there was
another thing.
nothing
Hit
that went
another
into
thing.
the storylines of the individuals beyond just who they were.
I
Hit
totally
another
agree on
thing.
that.
Remember, he had a lookalike in the original Knight Rider. That
Mhm.
story have not been properly flushed out. Of why would this somebody look like him to begin with? What was the reason behind it? That storyline have not been properly flushed
Wait a
out
minute.
yet.
What do you mean? What was that?
Remember, Michael Knight had a lookalike who was driving a truck called a Goliath, and he
Yes.
was supposed to be the original agent. Now, let's say you would have tap into that particular storyline and flush out how come he had someone that looked exactly like him. What was the reason behind it? We're not going
Well,
into
we know
depth
the
of it.
reason why, but we know the reason why Michael Knight looked the way he did. We know that.
Yeah,
It's the same. It's the same reason. But again, it's almost like Kit and Carr, and you saw this in Star Trek with Lore and Data. Like Carr was the original, but there was a problem with him. There was either an ego problem or some psychological problem where he wasn't the right fit. He might have been very capable in the role, but because the person they didn't do the proper personality profile, and he turned out to be the wrong guy. And because of he was basically discarded, that he became this role guy who went after Michael. But we know why Michael Knight looks like Michael Knight, because he looked like the original Knight, the owner, the guy who funded the project.
hmm
They basically gave him his face as a younger man. He was very old. He was dying in the pilot. They gave him the face of his youthful self. So they probably so again, but you could tell even from the first series, he wanted to do this for a while. He wanted this sort of Avenger, this kind of guy who would and maybe he did stuff like that in his youth, and he wanted someone to sort of carry that mantle on. And he tried with the first guy, didn't work. The guy was scorned or whatever, and he came back, but he found the perfect person in Michael Knight or Michael Long to sort of carry that lineage on. So I
Are you
can
talking
certainly
about Wilton
understand how.
Knight?
What's that?
You're talking about Wilton Knight.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his face. I mean, why? He looked like David Hasselhoff, I guess, in his youth, and which is why the two clones or the two guys looked like one another, because because he was trying to replicate this idea for decades, and it got
You've
to a
got
point where
David
he
Hasselhoff,
what's that?
Michael Knight. You've got Michael Knight, and then you've got Garth Knight.
Goth
David
Knight?
Hasselhoff's twin.
Okay, that was his name. Yeah, so again, but again, you could have spent a lot more storylines, but everything was about going forward, not giving these characters any depth.
and that was
But
the
that's
issue.
the problem with a lot of Glenn Larson series. Battlestar Galactica, when it came out in '78, that first year, oh, it was perfect. But then they went the second year after that, and they ran out of ideas. And then you got Galactica 1980, which was a flop. You know, all the movies that he did, the Automan, the pilot movie for Automan, got me hooked. But they didn't know where to go with it afterwards. Manimal, right? And I was saying earlier, if you remember David Manimal, when it came out, the guy would transform into these different creatures. That was again at the perfect time, because, like I said, you had American Werewolf in London, you had The Howling, you had all those those Transformer, not movies where you had man turning into beasts and whatnot. That was the perfect stage for that. But they didn't know how to write how do you write a series? How do you write a season? Are you even planning to do a season? Like 26 episodes or whatever it was back then. Now seasons are 10 episodes. But back then, when seasons were 26 episodes, did you staff to say, look, I need a full year worth of episodes and scripts and whatnot done? This is where we're taking this series. I don't even know if that was done. I think sometimes what happens is, the TV movie that they made was so great. Yeah, we got to get a TV show. And you just throw some stuff together and it fizzles after a few shows. But it's rare overall with all the works that, I had like 20 plus shows that Glenn Larson did. You only had 3 or 4 that were really successful past a couple seasons, right? It's hard to have a show on year after year. But again, even if it is, it's not because of the objects. Or like I said, you could have put any ship in Star Trek, and it with those characters, it would work. You got to have character-driven themes that people that you care about, that you want to tune in every week because you care about these characters in order to work. Michael Knight never went beyond just a guy who you knew was going to go in and get the bad guy at the end. There was no depth. And I think you have to have that in order to, have a series have a sustained run. I think you just do.
I think when you're running a show so long, you run out of material, you run out of ideas. Yes, that's why I like the format now. They did 10 episodes, 20 episodes, whatever, and they take a break and then come back. Gives you time to, refresh your brain out. And I said it before, and we did a show a while back. When is a show too many seasons? I think anything over eight seasons, it should be scrapped.
Yeah, that's a good run. But again, a lot of these shows I was talking about, they barely made it one season. A lot of his shows were like, again, made for TV movies, got the studios interested. Studio said, go and run with it, produce a series. We like the concept. It went well with viewers whenever it came on. Green light to do the show. And then boom, they just run out of ideas. Because again, are you really trying? Like I said, Battlestar Galactica should have had at least a 5 or 6 year run, and it didn't because, one, it was an expensive show to make, and that's another thing. Any show where you're putting a lot of special effects and technology and whatnot, that takes a lot of money. Like how we saw earlier, how many versions of kit that they have to produce? Those cars weren't cheap to make. And if you need like 20, 30 cars, I mean, that's, so again, so you better have your ideas together.
Paul, with Knight Rider, they only used the body of the car. They didn't go all out on the interior car. They only had one car that was in the main part of the show. But for the thing to do the stunts, they were just shells. Do you know what I mean? They didn't put any... You're muted.
I get that. I'm not saying that they made fully functioning cars. That's all I'm saying. But even then, production costs.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if each one of those cars cost more to make than a production car.
They were about £1 because Trans Am actually donated a lot of the cars.
Oh, that's useful.
I
didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that.
Basically, as I said, when I said to you earlier on, right, about the big, massive truckload of Trans Ams, they were donated. Every single one of them were basically donated for £1. That's all they wanted, or $1, right, in America, right? And the Hollywood, who created Knight Rider, promised Trans Am, and Trans Am made them promise that after every single show, all of those cars have to be destroyed. They have to. Because they were literally written off. They were literally taking them off. It's basically a backhander sort of thing, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's off of the books sort of deal. It's a brilliant show. It really is.
Yeah.
I did put a link
for what it lasted. Yeah. Oh, you got a link when K.I.T. was reactivated? Yeah, I see that one.
Yeah. Brilliant. That is brilliant. Especially the way he was taking the mickey out of David Hasselhoff.
Mm-hmm. You want me to show, Pete, you want me to show that one?
Sure.
Okay.
It's only about a minute.
There's certain franchise are so iconic, you don't want to let go of that. And that was something that would bug me the most.
You might want to turn it up, Paul. Still no sound. Would you like me to play it, Paul? Or
You guys see it here?
There's no
I
sound.
remember this. I think I remember this scene.
Right here.
I was thinking David Hasselhoff would take that particular role, like the executive of
Yeah,
the
that's
Night
true.
Foundation. Because that's what I would expect him to be in the reboot.
Yeah,
Because
Paul.
for one, like I said, when you just mentioned Craig, how the owner of the Pontiac Trans Am, they were acting the production company to destroy that model. I think that model would have been recreated in a much different look for the reboot, and would have been a
Paul.
different story.
I've just
Hang on,
put.
let me try it. Let me try it again. Hang on.
I just thought I'd try and help.
Yeah, I think there was this
But
thing I had to shut. Let me try that again. Hang on.
All right.
I don't think the people who made the Pontiac Trans Am don't realize how big that car was. Okay, everybody loved that car.
Do you guys hear?
We, we,
It's triglyceride free.
Thanks. Gonna talk about that ass you hired?
I did what I had to survive.
Well, Devin, you're not doing this for money. You never would.
Oh, no, money isn't the problem. We still have enough grant funding.
And what is the problem?
Research means nothing unless you can apply it, Michael. We can help the city, but the bureaucracy has stalled us for years. Russ Maddock deserves some credit for turning that around.
You promised me K.I.T.'s body.
Yes, I did. I'm afraid he's been recycled.
Now that's just wonderful. You stick me in mothballs for nearly a decade, and then you sell off my parts like I'm inventory from Manny, Mo, and Jack.
Kit, it's wonderful to hear your voice.
I wish I could say the same, Devin, but one of my auditory monitors must have landed in some kid's walkie-talkie. Is that you, Michael?
Yeah.
You look like crap.
Well, so do you, pal.
At least I have an excuse. You've obviously gone down the toilet since we split up, Michael. Get a life.
shit.
I got a life. And a body, too, which is more than I can say for you.
Forget my body. Where is my random access? Or my graphics board? I can't even play a round of Pac-Man in here.
Are you dating yourself, buddy boy? Pac-Man's in the Smithsonian now.
Probably an exhibit or two away from you.
At least some things haven't changed.
And that's what I missed.
That was good.
That was missing from the reboot.
But you see there again, but it's the relationship. It's like I said, that's literally Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. Kirk and McCoy and Spock going at it, and then someone in the middle. That's what I'm saying. That dynamic is what made the show great. Kid could be in that state, and you still love the show.
It wouldn't have made it great. It made it iconic because the back and forth jabs. Everybody was always looking for a joke to take from that show. And that one was a perfect example of how Kit was throwing Michael Knight on the bus several times over. Like, you think, I look for you. That was epic roasting.
But
and that made the show iconic.
David, that was a start of a reboot back in 1991. They tried to reboot it, but it didn't succeed. It was meant to be based.
You know what it is, guys? Let's be honest here. It's not the writing; it's the chemistry actors had on scene. If they had the chemistry,
yes,
anything's possible. And I don't care how bad a script is or how good it is. If you have the chemistry, the sky's the limits.
Yeah, that was mentioned in a lot of TV shows of lately. People are trying to do match with T what will stick. Now, when you talk about show that have too many seasons, I'm sorry, NCIS. How long that one been going on? Blacklist. How long that one been going on? ER. How long that one been going on? There's a lot of shows.
Even like I said, I mean, what's that? Law and Order.
Oh,
I mean, that show's been on forever. But it's good TV because they come up with good, smart. A lot of the subjects they borrow from real life court cases and stuff. So again, they're able to draw on. I don't mind. Like I said, I think it's good when a series can go on for a long period of time.
The chemistry was there. That what made it very interesting. The chemistry was there. NCIS. Anyone who understands about the military background, whatever, about the investigation, That was a level of espionage on top of espionage that you'll never get tired of because
Mhm.
we all know there's no one side to that. There's always another deeper level how far you see we think will go and see certain character will come back and be playing a certain role. That would make for NCIS very, very interesting to this day.
Mhm.
Blacklick was another thing whereby talk about how deep these secret society can really go because the only show that could have done in that type of way, but I don't think you ever could do it on a live action was Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider that was almost close to be on that same level, but I don't think there was any producer out there could do a live action version of that
Mhm.
or Grey Robin because when they did Angelina Jolie the movie, the first movie I was like, I'm not sure she can carry the flag,
Mhm.
even though the game was based on her looks automatically.
Mhm.
The
Well,
second
hang on,
movie,
guys.
Hold on, Paul. Hold
We're
on,
starting
Paul.
to come up towards the end of the show, and again, it is the Sparta's birthday today.
Hold
So
on,
we're
Paul.
dedicating the
Hang on.
show to him, and we actually have Craig has his lovely wife on the show, and she wants to say something, I believe, to Peter on his birthday. So this is a special occasion here. So, Mrs. Lucas, if there's anything you'd like to add for the show, any well wishes, or you can roast the heck out of him. Also, I don't
roast
mind that
them,
either. You know, you
roast
can
I
them,
want to buy my
celebrity
cinema.
roast him. He's the
roast
celebrity, so
them,
we can roast him. We can have jokes. Whatever you'd like to
roast them.
say to Peter at this time, the floor is yours, man.
Happy birthday, Sparta, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
I still
David,
watch
you
my
kind of came in late. We kind of I kind of had
I know.
my well wishes for the man. Anything you'd like to say?
Happy
How
40th birthday. I hope you live longer. I hope you cut from smoking. I hope you stay healthy. Stop chasing on these crazy ass girl who trying to strangle you.
it definitely shows his age now, doesn't it?
Hey,
Preach.
hey, I'm
Definitely
just
shows his
saying.
age now, doesn't it?
I'm just saying. Stop being a moving target.
You're older than him.
Do we have to get a kit car for you to protect you?
Kid, I'm
No,
faster than you, dude.
Excuse me?
What?
I'd
You
have
know
to
I
see
run
that up
faster than
close.
you.
I've seen both of you up close. I don't know how I'm picking in that race. That's all I'm saying.
I'm 47. Don't say I'm a grizzly bear.
Hmm.
I give him
Yeah,
that one
grizzly
look.
bears
I'm
run
like,
40
But
miles an
again,
hour. So
I'm
I'm just
faster
saying,
than you.
grizzly bears run
yeah.
at 40 miles an hour. I'm just
All right,
saying,
let's start
he,
closing
he
this
might
out,
be
Paul.
good for a good burst, but
Don't worry. You just do the
but
African drive-by. You
yeah,
fall asleep.
yeah. Let's get into our final thoughts. Certainly on the show. Certainly Craig. If you want to lead off, since certainly you're a big fan, we'll go to David, myself, and then we'll have the birthday boy himself to close out the show tonight. So, Craig, your final thoughts on the show, sir.
Dude, show's brilliant. They should have made more of them with David Hasselhoff, the original creator, the original characters, and stay along the same lines, right? Um, they made a couple of upsies in the Team Knight Rider. Personally, that was just a flop. The graphics on it were crap. I didn't like it, but seriously, I think if people haven't seen Knight Rider, where the hell have you been living? It was sorry my language, but it was a fucking great show. It really was. The reboot for Knight Rider 2000, it was great, but it wasn't iconic. All right. It wouldn't be a future thing for telling people saying go watch the new Knight Rider. I would say watch the original. Okay. I would love to. I would love to own the car. I really would. I sat in the car originally, in Shoreham. I became like an absolute big baby when I was next to it. But yeah, that's all. Next person.
Awesome, David.
I'll put like this. The original Knight Rider is my all-time favorite show. One of the all-time favorite of all time. The car itself was iconic. I don't understand how the manufacturer of that car was so stupid to think that, oh, we don't need that car, not really how much of a big deal that car really is. That go to show that some people don't know what they had in their hand. They had a diamond mine and they threw it out the window. When they did the Team Knight Rider reboot, I wasn't too feeling that one. I feel like it could have done better when I did a reboot of the Knight Rider again with the Ford Mustang. I was feeling like, come on, can we get a better director? Now, if you're gonna redo it again, I hate to say this. I know it sounds crazy, but you may have to give it to an animator, but not the one from the US this time, because for some apparent reason, certain franchises are not done properly on US soil anymore. They're being destroyed. It either got too much wokeness. I want to see this franchise give one last chance of a better reboot. But this time, somebody who understands it better and get a better team of writers. Don't just get some sorry ass people who don't know what the hell they got on their hand. Because believe me, the original was great. There was room for improvement. There was room for growth. But for half someone just messed it all up altogether, it's almost like you just prove a point. Maybe you don't create better creative mind on US soil. Maybe you gotta find someone outside the US who can take the mantle, take the torch, and say, you know what? Let's did it justice. Let's really give it a series that worth people saying, yes, this is how Night Rider is supposed to be. Because you don't know how many people are looking forward to see something to come back out. And not only does it justice, let's bring Hasselhoff back whereby he have an executive role just like the one before him. So he can say, you know what? We need to do it this way. Other than that, it was a great conversation. I was emotional when I heard it would be the topic because unlike Peter, I feel like slapping the exec who messed it up. He deserved to get slapped several times over because you don't know what he had.
Well, it make you feel better. I can ask Greg's wife to slap Greg for us to make it some similar.
And I'm hating on Queb because he had the classic behind him, the collector behind his
I
back.
still remember when I pulled this first on one of the streams. Your face was like, huh?
Yeah. I was like, you know how many guys out here in the year would chase you for that collectible?
Hmm.
This is worth about at least about 200-300 quid.
That's what I'm saying. That's one of the iconic collectibles. If you bring it to Comic Con, you need to get a bodyguard for that because you know how many people are looking for that? Peter, am I wrong here?
Dude, I even had years ago. My ex-partner actually bought me the remote control car of Knight Rider.
Oh God!
And
Now
I'm not
you're
joking.
adding more.
It was
You're
like
add.
it was
Well, you
See what
better
I'm,
probably
get
bigger
back
than my
over to
foot.
the show.
you see what I'm saying now? Not gloating right now. Everybody start looking for you like, oh, he's in the UK. Okay, we gonna look for him. That collectible for real.
The
But other
person
than
who
that,
got me into Knight Rider was actually my dad. I used to go up there as a kid on a Saturday when he had weekend custody of us. He used to literally every night, 8 o'clock at night, Knight Rider.
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah, that was
Yeah, guys. Like I said, I was there when this all went down. I was there live. The pilot film. It came at a time when there was a major revolution in the auto industry, where again they were going for more aerodynamic body types versus the muscle cars of the 70s. So again, definitely it was a major change, but I have no doubt that sales of Pontiac Trans Ams went up dramatically with the success of that show. And so I'm sure it was a big boon to Pontiac and that division. And that's probably why they gave away those cars for free like that, because again, it was basically a promotional ad for the car. And I think it was just a perfect marriage of individuals, and to, allow, that dynamic kind of got a little lost in the sauce when they brought on these extra characters. Again, I like the original, I forget her name, but the woman who fixed the cars, that the first season, I liked her over the one that came later. And I think they just kind of ran out of ideas for the show, but they had the nucleus there. They should have did a lot more with character development, character backgrounds. And I think you could have certainly got a lot more seasons out of that show than it did. But again, you can't have it so much, as great as the car is. It can't just be about the car. You got to care about the people in order to make it work. So that's my 2 cents on it.
I've got a question. Is it? They called it a T-top, didn't they?
K.I.T.? I don't know. Did they ever have shows where he was in a T-top? I don't know if it was.
No. That was
They did later on.
David Hasselhoff was going around saying there was an episode, I think it was season 3, where Carl came back on the scene, and he was driving around the town. It was season 1 or 2 when he was coming in, and they were looking for Carl, and David Hasselhoff was going around to a lot of the shops and around people saying, "Have you seen a black T-top?" I'm just saying, if any of you lot called it.
I remember briefly later on in the season, they took off he could have take it off and take it on like a futuristic kind of style.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think they could have maybe introduced some of those features gradually. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to go from season 1 and just do this total remake where it looked like a flying car. Like, every season you could have added like a new feature.
Yeah.
That was used in the season, and then next year you have another one. You know what I mean? You could have did it gradually.
It didn't make a sense to me, right?
What's that?
David Hasselhoff, where Kit gets stolen, right, and his CPU got taken out.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
right, and it was in a bin, right. Devon and Michael couldn't find it, but what's his name? David Hasselhoff could sense him.
Yes.
You know the one I'm on about?
Yes.
How the hell does that work?
Ask him.
Again, where AI is going.
I
don't know. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of persons feeling some AI. I don't know what. But yes, I remember that was a powerful scene at the time that he just kind of sensed that he was there. So that was a.
I did like it. Kit got put into like a little portable TV.
A little portable car. Yep, I remember that. Yeah, that was a good one. But Pete, floor is yours. And again, I'll just reiterate again. Happy birthday! May you have many, many more. And so, floor is yours, sir. What you got?
Only thing I would say, hopefully, I don't feel like crap the rest of my year because I feel like shit right now. Waking up on your birthday being sick is not the greatest feeling in the world.
Do you still have that date to jump out that airplane though? Is that coming?
It's coming. I got follow up with King and CQ when I talked to him about that. But it's coming this summer, hopefully.
Nice.
Video it.
Video didn't happen.
Video it.
Or it didn't happen.
I would like to see that. I really would. She's terrified of heights. Let her watch it.
Well, you guys can jump out with me.
No, I ain't going.
I would.
I'd tell you right now.
I want to drag her, but she won't allow it.
Yeah. Anyway, so my opinion, my last final thoughts on Knight Rider. Great series in '85. I think they dragged it on way too much because they're repetitive. I agree with Paul. They should have brought in a little bit. 2000s, the movie, I think was a masterpiece, to be honest with you guys. I think it was the best from all of the series. Teen Rider, I enjoyed that too, but again, I was very young. Now, 2008 version, or whatever it was decent. It wasn't great. The chemistry wasn't there. Once you get the chemistry there, anything's possible. Oh, yours, Paul.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for coming on. Just a quick programming note. Tomorrow evening on the Gray Area, we're going to be talking about what if World War III happens. What will happen to us all? So again, looking forward to that discussion tomorrow night. And certainly for next week in the Spartan Arena. Again, stay tuned for those shows. I don't have those shows in front of me at the moment. Pete,
I haven't. If you want me to go over them, Paul.
Yeah. If you just want to get a breakdown of just the schedule for this coming week.
So for Tuesday, we have Who Motivates You, and that can be a nice conversation. On Wednesday, Sean's show is gonna be just had it right here. Living for Us. The topic is going to be. And what is your topic on Thursday, Paul?
I think I need to go back with Coach, but I think it's going to be on sports and how do you discipline an athlete or a child that is misbehaving when it comes to sports? Do you take away the privileges, or do you keep the person playing. I know Coach shared that on our replay of the youth sports show, and I definitely want to explore that a little bit more. But I just need to square that with them. We'll probably talk about it on Monday, as far as what to do with the with that. But I think that's going to be one of the themes. Certainly, we'll be exploring in the next. And Craig, he's showing again. I guess was that the official seal? Is that the official? What is that? That mark at the bottom there. I can't see it. I can't see it fully here.
The Ultimate Collection.
The Ultimate Collection.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Actually, can you show that again, Craig? I just want to see something if I can get this to work. Show that logo again. Show what you was just showing. There you go. Okay, just wanted to play with the tech a little bit. Appreciate it. All right. So again, we want to thank you guys for being with us tonight. Make sure you hit the like button certainly as you leave the show. Consider becoming a member of the Sparta HQ Network. We appreciate you guys for being with us. So certainly for myself, the president, he is Craig Lucas, all the way from UK. We have the Bear Paw, the big guy, the big Kahuna, the big bear, the beast mode, the African.
Groot.
The angry Bear Paw himself, and again, the birthday boy, the president, the ultimate Spartan,
It's Groot.
the head of this the network here. Again, appreciate you guys being with us tonight. So for all of us on the show, enjoy your day. Now, again, help me in this. Do I just hit end stream, or do I got to play the Do I got to play the
outro? Yes. And so go to
okay,
graphics.
I got it. Okay, so I got the where's the outro? I'm looking for it. Intro, hangout, next gen. You're worse than my wife here. Trying to find logos.
They're organized, actually, believe it or not.
I'm looking.
Bottom left.
Bottom left. Outro. Got it. All right, guys. Enjoy your night. Take care. God bless.
Good night.
Hey, cool. Good show, guys.
You're